This is a special edition of Appy Hour. And this is Campfire Chat Series. And what we're doing during our Campfire Chat Series is we're bringing in the sponsors that were our Appy Hour camp sponsors and having them share some of the since camp updates, what's been going on inside of product, what some of the team members are doing. And so we're really thankful today to have Intuit joining us and quite a few of the Intuit team members. So welcome.
Hello.
We've really missed you. We've really missed you. So it's so nice to be back here with all of you. So yay.
Heather, you want to do an
Thanks.
intro of yourself? It looks like your bubble is actually on top of the campfire right there.
I'm burning hot.
You're hot today.
I'm burning hot. Yeah, so that is me in the fire. Yeah, I'm Heather Satterley. I'm a CPA and I've been practicing for quite a long time. And most recently, I am the Director of Education and Media over at Woodard. So I'm doing all kinds of super fun things over there, supporting our trainers and writers and accountants, helping them to get all the support that they need has been absolutely wonderful. Love the team, love what I'm doing, and it just seems to keep getting better every day.
I'm happy for that. That's a great update.
Yeah.
I am digging what I'm doing too. So a lot of you know that I work with developers, and that relationship has just continued to get stronger, and that area of where I spend my time has grown. And that's predominantly what we have been doing during 2022 and now moving into 2023 is listening to the feedback that the community gives us and then taking that feedback and turning it into action items with app developers. You know, what kinds of things are features that you're looking for? What kind of training are you looking for? And so that continues to be a huge area of focus for us. And I feel like it's always exciting because it's something different and new all the time. It is exciting. A great adventure.
We are just living in such an exciting time, Liz, with all the changes and technology. It's really cool.
It really, I mean, you know, during COVID, everybody was shut down and there was this whole, oh my gosh, what do we do now? And I feel like now we're in this exploration moment of, oh my gosh, what an opportunity that gave us to be able to dig deeper into some areas that maybe we were putting off for a while. And so development really took place. The need for community has reshaped itself. So I think that it's been quite an opportunity to take advantage of.
Oh, definitely.
Ted, we have you here with us today, and I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell everybody about maybe some of the things that you do throughout the day in your role as the accountant business leader at Intuit.
Yes, absolutely. First thing I do is shave. So that picture's out of date. Kim and I were joking, it's like, probably should update that. So my role, actually, I've got a new title and a new focus. So it's a great opportunity for me to walk everybody through that as well. So, and apologies if this comes across as inside baseball, let me make it clear of what the benefit will be to you at the end. So you all can hold me accountable to that, as you always do. So Ted Callahan is my name. I've been at Intuit for over 5 years now, which is just crazy to me. And like I've said to many of you, I continue to be here because of how mission driven this place is. And a key way that we do that in partnership with all of y'all is ensuring that we are bringing the voice of our accountant community into how we build our products, how we create our go-to-market campaigns. And I got so passionate about that, I actually huddled with some other folks inside Intuit. And so we've actually changed how we support accountants across our business unit at Intuit. And so my new title is Director of Accountant Partnership and Strategy. And so I get to spend all of my time thinking about partnering with all of you, bringing your voice inside and ensuring that we are building experiences that solve for you as a firm owner right, and a practitioner, as well as for your clients, and getting that two-part framework in place and right, and then saying, hey, what are the things that we've done that aren't right, that need to be changed, that would unlock you and unlock your clients. So that's my mandate, and that's my focus. And so the benefit should be that you all are much clearer on what our strategy is, why we're doing what we're doing, why we're not doing what some of the things that may be very obvious to you, and be able to have that kind of dialogue and engagement so that we're really understanding one another better and more clearly. And so that even if you don't like what we're up to at times, you all can say, I respect your decision. And that should be a corner case and rare, and more frequently it should be why you're loving what we're doing, able to use it with abandon, and you can recommend it thoroughly to your clients. So that's what I'm up to and stand for. And I'm also really excited about QVC. So I'd love to talk about that, but let's get through the intro so we can come back to some of the QVC stuff.
Oh my gosh. So you just like planted so many seeds of being able to want to come back and to dig in a little bit deeper. And then also to hear in this new role, this new title, also what can the accounting community do? So just, oh man, that feels like we have lots of opportunity there for discussion. But let's go ahead and give Kim, would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself? Many of us already know you, but for those who just might not, do you want to go ahead and share some of the things that you do at Intuit?
Absolutely. My name is Kim Amsbaugh. I'm part of the corporate communications team here at Intuit. I've actually been here for lucky number 13 years. Part of my job has always been within the function of supporting accountants and the bookkeepers on our QuickBooks platform. And really my day-to-day job is just supporting the team here that serves accountants, just helping them understand and raise awareness about all the things that we're striving to do each and every day to make our products work better and to deliver better for the accountant community.
And for many of us, you have been a go-to resource for information for years. So I want to thank you for that.
Of course, yes. I don't always know the answer, but I often know who does. And so I can be that conduit for folks if they need help or get a question answered or a messy problem fixed. I do try to do that as best I can.
Definitely a guiding light often. So thank you. Finnick, are you here?
I
Hi.
am.
Would you like to introduce yourself and give a little bit about what it is that you do at Intuit?
Of course. This is so exciting that I am back here and talking to you guys again. My name is Vinayak Thakkar. I'm a product manager at Intuit. I have been here for 7 years now. This is going on my 8th year. So it's something definitely, the journey that I'm definitely enjoying. Today, right now, I manage 2 tracks, QBO project financials, or job costing, if they call it. So for project-based businesses, if you want to do job costing, any product features that enables project-based businesses to be profitable is one of the tracks that I manage. And the other track that I manage is also called as integration experiences. So when our businesses connect QBO to other third-party apps, the experiences that go along with it, I have just taken on the charter to make those experiences swift and smooth. So those are the 2 charters that I have, and I'm super excited, as I mentioned earlier, to be back talking to this wonderful community, and looking forward to this discussion.
And, you know, whenever we were at Appy Camp, we got a chance to be able to sit down and talk a little bit. And you definitely have got a true passion for the community. And that shines through in a lot of the things that you do. So it's nice to have you here with us today.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And Joe, you're here with us today as well. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hey, everyone. I'm Joe Black. I'm coming to you from Mountain View, California. I positioned my camera in front of my bookshelf to maybe hopefully make me seem smarter. So hopefully that works. I don't know if it's gonna. It's great to be with y'all again. I look after what we call kind of commerce capabilities for QuickBooks. So it's really about building things out around how do we make product-based businesses more successful on QuickBooks Online, whether it's e-commerce accounting, order and inventory management, other things like that. So you mentioned, I think last week, Keith Crowther, who's a product manager on my team, he came in and I believe we participated in this last week. He's a great PM, a good guy, really knowledgeable. And so he's on my team, and we're working on, like I said, a lot of those capabilities to help improve the experience in QBO for product-based businesses and the accountants that work with them.
Well-
So happy to be here again. I guess I'll maybe pass it over to Ryan.
And I'll brag on Keith for a second, because last week he came in and he did a demo for those of you who didn't join us of QuickBooks Commerce accounting. And he asked a lot of questions, or we asked a lot of questions on the fly, and he demoed and showed us around and was really knowledgeable. So I'll just kind of put it in for Keith. Good job.
Awesome. And I can pick it up from Joe here. I'm Ryan Ward. I'm a group product manager in charge of accounting automation in QuickBooks. Besides dodging this beam of sunlight that's trying to get in my eyes here, I spend most of my time focusing on a couple different tracks within kind of what we would used to call banking or the transaction center, related to how do we make bookkeeping a little more accessible to the small business and make QuickBooks a little more approachable, while also making sure that they're not creating more work for accountants. And trying to explain some of the automation we're doing so that it can be trusted and controlled. We're doing better on some of those things than others, and we're excited to continue taking feedback from folks and improving the product for everybody. And my team, I'm lucky enough to work with a lot of folks, but our team we kind of talk about it being the core part of QuickBooks. So we work on what we call capabilities that Vinayak's team and Joe's team use, and we collaborate really closely with them. So love, if there's feedback for any part of the team, you can bring it to me and I'll make sure it gets to the right folks. Oop, Liz, I think you're muted.
I was reading the muted conversation and muted myself. So thank you, Ryan, for the introduction. And everybody who is listening, this was the team that had joined us while we were at Appy Camp. So it was a very unique opportunity to be really close with this panel and to ask questions and to be able to hear about the different areas of product development and interest from the accounting community. And so I'm grateful that we're able to share today some of the conversations that happened while we were at camp, some of the activities that happened at camp. And if you're looking at this picture right here, and there's this guy with his hat on looking down, that's Ted. And he is
so fun.
Oh yeah, it was a cool fireside sing along, and Ted was playing the guitar there. Ted, you've got some background in guitar.
And Ted, I think you were actually singing like original songs. It was amazing.
I was not singing, just to clarify.
Well, you were playing.
As my family will be very quick to tell you, really fun to listen to Ted play guitar, not to hear him ever sing. So I joke I'm paid not to sing when I'm on a stage. If only I were paid to be on a stage, that would be rad. But yes, I had a great time around the campfire with all the folks that you can see there. It was one of those true campfire moments, right? Where you're making music, the smoke's getting in your eyes, you're trying to avoid the smoke. I felt like we should have played The Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. That would have been very appropriate and punny. But anyway, it was great to be together with everybody. Yeah, so thanks for the call out. I was like, what is this triangle doing? I'm like, oh, that's me. Yeah.
You.
You know who can sing and did sing and was absolutely beautiful was Ingrid Edstrom. So she has just such a incredible voice.
Yeah.
And she's got fire skills too. So there was times whenever our fire needed tending, and she literally hopped into that fire ring, and she would stoke it up, and she would make sure that we had some nice flames and as little smoke as possible.
It was really fun.
I agree.
And I love that you titled this collaboration, right? Because it just shows all the different forms that I think collaboration occurs, right? Between, right, app sponsors like ourselves and then the community of, it was participatory, and then there was one-on-one conversations, and then there was really working sessions where we got to roll up our sleeves and say, okay, here's something that we've got in the hopper. What do you think? How can we make it better? And in the back and forth and the engagement was just awesome with the community, both there and it's continued more broadly with more folks subsequent to happy hour. And it'd be fun to talk about some of those coming changes. I know Ryan, Joe, Vinayak are going to speak to as well.
Definitely. Yeah. I think our next slide, Liz, shows some of that. There we go.
I think that that's really important to share, that the mission was to be able to collaborate and to pull in, what kinds of ideas are areas that you're really looking for some input. And so these conversations that took place were really wonderful, and they've continued on. So I would absolutely love to pass it over. I think you said to Ryan to start sharing what all has taken place since the Appy Camp and what's continuing on from there.
Yeah, glad to share a few things, and I'll keep it kind of broad. The first was I wish I'd printed it out, probably 12 pages of notes. And that came and turned into feedback, either very direct for product managers and product owners for things they need to work on. I've connected a lot of folks with, hey, these are general themes I heard that we need to prioritize. But the two big things that have come away are, one, we are recommitting ourselves. And I've said this at our accountant council session to the account community. There was kind of a natural, wasn't meant to happen, but our team started focusing a little too heavily on the small business that was trying to do it themselves. And we lost a little bit of that connection to the accountant community. So we've done a lot of work on our team, just making sure we are embedding accountants onto our team, whether they're internal. We have a compliance organization, which is a whole group of CPAs and accounting experts across the world that we are pulling into our teams. We're also creating mini councils. There's a person on my team, and I hope some of the folks on the call have probably connected with her. Her name's Christina Pan. She owns the chart of accounts and the ledger, the general ledger. So she's inheriting a lot of things that need a lot of love. And we've connected her with, I think, 4 or 5 experts. I think Jean is one of them, that she can just use as like a mini council. So she always has someone to reach out to, a place to get feedback. And the second is what we're calling an accountant mindset. And it's more just understanding, hey, if we're making for a change, even if it's not targeted to that accountant persona or the accountant user, it's going to impact them. It was just something we had lost, and we're building it back up. At the accountant council, Joseph Lassay and I were talking about how when we were in what we'd call an individual contributor role, when I was on payroll, I had accountants in my phone that I could just call and run stuff through or shoot a text to. And a lot of our new team members that have joined into it over the last 2 or 3 years don't necessarily have that. So we're building that back. And the third, I'm adding a third here, is really a big focus on usability and bugs. So I see Patricia's message, and I'm going to message you privately to make sure we can figure out what's going on, because I ran into a few of those issues today myself. But there's some things that are just we become blind to from using it so often, and maybe not hearing the VOC and or what we call voice of the customer or voice of the accountant, that we just need to prioritize. So things like transactions not loading, not being proactive with bank connection errors. This one's on me. I'm pretty sure I broke this, but recommending uncategorized asset. We're fixing that. Those types of things are top of mind. And we spent the last 2 weeks. So last week, my team did what we called product improvement days. And we create just a backlog of kind of those broken windows or those gnarly things that we've kind of just not said, hey, let's fix that later. Let's fix that later. We're prioritizing that. So we spent a lot of time doing that. And this week is what we call global engineering days. So there's a lot of focus on that, and we allow our engineers to go fix problems. Just like, hey, the business, everybody's out of your way. Here's a list of problems, go solve them. Here's an idea, go solve it. And Ted has done a great job of highlighting that we want to focus this on like accountant feedback and accountant themes. So we have a massive list that we've shared out to our teams of work to get done and be solved. And so hopefully you'll see some of those changes coming out before the end of the year, and a lot of fixes. And please keep the feedback coming. Like, our team lives on it. Can't always respond to everything, but we try and read as much as possible.
Well, and Ryan, you made me want to explore further, because what you listed off was quite a laundry list of to-dos. So a lot of action that you're taking, and categorize assets. So what exactly has changed in that area? What were you saying was broken, and what's the desired outcome?
Yeah, so I can share that we have improved our machine learning over the past few years. I think our categorization accuracy used to start around like 34% for customers. Now we're getting higher and higher. I don't have the exact number, and I don't know what we can share, but it's much, much higher than that. But in that, we've been testing a lot of different machine learning models and how we can improve categorization. And I was the PM overseeing a lot of this in QBO, and it was just blindness. I would see uncategorized, and what would happen is if our model didn't have a prediction, we would say, great, default to uncategorized expense or uncategorized income, depending if it was money in or money out. Accountants know what to do with that. They see that and say, great, I need to draw my attention to it. But I would see uncategorized as a PM and say, okay, that's showing up as the right thing, but I wasn't reading asset. So I'm taking the blame on that one. My team is fixing it. Thankfully, they're better than me. And we just, it is one of those use cases that we'd covered for many years and all of a sudden just broke. But things like that, we're just getting more focused on adding more diligence to our product and design review before launch.
I love that you're sharing some of those feedbacks that you've gotten from the community. And I would even say everybody who's joined us here inside chat, please throw in questions. You've got a wealth of information and knowledge people here to be able to ask questions to. So if you've got questions, please go ahead and share those. Does anybody else want to share what's happening inside of your department, kind of in a product area and direction?
I can add a little bit onto Ryan. I think Ryan covered it really well. We, like he said, we gathered a long list of feedback from the sessions, from the conversations over dinner, at the bar, throughout the week, and that was really, really helpful. Some of it was, feedback for directly on the product experience that I showed, and a lot of it was unrelated to that, but really critical to the rest of QBO. And so we, like Ryan said, we took that, farmed it out to people, make sure that they understand the priority of that, and that was, I think, really, really helpful. The other thing we've tried to do on our team is to, similar to what Ryan said, be much more accessible. So we've and engage much more with this community. So AppyCamp was awesome. Since then we've been at the Partner Accountant Council, and it was great to reconnect with a few of you, that friendly faces that I saw from AppyCamp there, and having again Keith on my team come and talk to this team as well, and hear your feedback and your questions. We love that, and so we want to make sure that we'll be here as often as you want us, as you'll have us, I should say. And so I think that part has been really, really helpful. And so, as far as the stuff, feedback on what we showed around e-commerce accounting, like I said, Keith has come in, he's gathered a lot of feedback. We're working that through the roadmap. We heard a lot of consistent themes there around need to support additional channels, support for Canada, bring in inventory and COGS. Like there's definitely some themes that emerge. And right now we're factoring that into our roadmap, and again, trying to make that all available as soon as we can, and we'll continue to value this partnership and your feedback along the way.
Well, and I love that. So one of the things I think has been difficult just over the course of the last 3 years is to be able to share and prioritize, just because we were all bubbled. And that, the nature of being bubbled means that, silos happen, and there's been some huge strides in making sure that the pro advisor community, that anybody who's inside of the QuickBooks realm is aware of what's going on. And so there's been a lot of webinars that have taken place, a lot of presentations designed around making sure that everybody's aware of what's coming, and that the feedback that the pro advisors are giving is really being listened to. And so, with your new role, Ted, do you want to share some of the prioritizing of some of those changes?
Yeah, I'd love to. I'm happy to do that now. I was also gonna let Vinayak and Kim go, just to cover off around the horn, but you keep us honest on time, Liz. What's best?
I'm glad you're here. So any sharing, I'm always open to and happy about.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we want to also, of course hear from everything that you're doing as far as integrations. Like that's such a huge area.
Totally. That's why I was like, hey, let's let Vinayak give an update. Kim's got an update, and then I'll wrap up that section, and then we can progress. Yeah. So Vinayak, go ahead.
Sounds good. So in addition to +1 to everything, Joe and Ryan said about the great feedback, specifically what I'd like to say is we had a session where we shared the app's diagnostics dashboard, if you will, which shows all your apps your clients have connected, the status of the apps, whether they're still syncing or are there any issues with it, and then ability to fix the issues as they come along through the dashboard. And the feedback that we resoundingly got from everybody, it was almost like a unanimous feedback. It's like, whoa, this is a glaring gap right now, and we are glad you're working on it. So the good news is we've been able to prioritize it, and we are actually launching the MVP version of it within a quarter. So that's really exciting, and your feedback really helped us, get that confidence, and we were able to also pass that feedback along to our leadership, which gave them the confidence to actually fund this initiative. And we are now on the way to actually launch it within a quarter, and you will see some glimpses of it at QuickBooks Connect. For those of you who are going. So that's on the, Apps Connect, so all the apps aspect of it. Ted, for me to share the project's financial, there's one immediate, just the recent launch we've done is, should I use this moment to just announce that? In job costing, in project financial, or for project-based businesses, we just launched a feature, which was a #1 ask from the project-based businesses, was ability to do estimates versus actual. So we've added a new estimate form. We're calling it project cost estimates. So as you create an estimate, we'd allow you, or the feature enables you to, for every line item level, add your cost to it, like what a feature costs to you, what's your markup, and what would you charge your client, and of course what's your internal costs are, do not show to your end customers. But once you actually execute the project, and as the money in, money out transactions happen, now you're able to do your estimated cost and income versus versus actual cost and income, and you can do that comparison. So this was the #1 asked feature within project-based business, like within project financials or job costing. And now if you go to QBO projects and click add to project, you're going to see a button called as cost estimates. So you can go ahead, and it's live now, and start playing with it.
Wow, that's exciting.
I saw your note, Ted, in there about the MVP, what that actually means, and I'm really glad that you added that. So thank you. Just a real quick question. Hopefully, it's a quick question. When you're talking about rolling out these new features and new features and updates, can you talk just a minute about what the strategy is there when you're rolling out a feature, and how? I know that you oftentimes roll something out to a small group of people to see how it goes, and then you iterate on that. Can you just speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I'll happily take a pass, and then or if Ryan, if you're coming up, if you want to do that, I would love yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it varies. A lot of it depends on, is this something that we don't have or not yet sure of, or we need to experiment to see, hey, is this something that we can move the needle on a certain metric or solve a customer problem really well? We try and measure all of our metrics tied to a customer problem, whether it be an accountant or a DIY small business trying to do the books themselves. Some of them we literally create a business view, because some of the feedback we had with business view and accountant view, or from accountants, was, hey, stop testing. Like, I can't go in here, don't test me. So we're like, business view should be only for people that are not connected to an accountant. And so we're going to explore that. Some of that hasn't gone as well as we wanted, or as smoothly as we wanted. And so we've realized, hey, we need to find a better way to release features to everyone, or test in certain groups, or just be a little more open about what we're doing in terms of communicating that you might see this in the product. We don't want to bias our results. It also depends on, are we solving for someone who is just starting with the product, or someone who's been working in the product for 10 years that has a built account. We try and not change things as much as possible for folks that have been using the product successfully for a while. So most of it's targeted toward new customers, but a lot of it, long way of saying, any changes are usually to say, hey, is this metric that we're trying to move, which should be tied to a customer problem, actually being solved? If not, we need to revert it back.
Yeah,
oh, sorry.
just one thing to add to what Ryan said, and a lot of the times if you're not just experimenting, we would also launch a feature in a beta mode and we would recruit customers. So for this specific feature that we just talked about right now, estimate versus actual, we did recruit about like 50 or so customers, and we just ran that feature live, was available just to that set of customers. We collected feedback, fixed the issues, and now it's generally available. So that's also a very common practice that we do: launch a beta to a small set of customers, learn, and then launch to everybody.
Awesome. I noticed recently when I was in my QuickBooks that there was a little red bubble next to a new feature, and that was new, and it was right there. I could see it. It caught my attention, and I loved that. So there's my feedback for you: is the little red bubbles are awesome because it definitely brings it right to your attention. You're not going to miss it.
Yeah, and I think I love all of the points. Just to kind of put a bow on it, then we'll pass to Kim. Is I think for many of you in the community, right, who don't work closely with app developers, sometimes being able to understand what is a beta and a test versus, hey, this is something that we're rolling out to get the learning, and then, right, it's not a test, but we are rolling something out to learn and make it better and improve. And that can cause confusion in the community as well, because one of you sees something and the other doesn't. And so you're all kind of like, well, what does this mean, right? Is this a mistake? Is this a test? Should I? And so there's a bunch of different areas where we're investigating how can we be clear in helping the community understand the way that we build our product, because we are so, we say, customer obsessed. It's a value of ours at the corporate level. How can we clarify how we do that so that you all can experience and say, oh, okay, I got it. This is a test. Nothing to be worried about here. This is why only one of my clients saw it. And then how can we be preparing each of you for those in the right way where it doesn't interfere with getting a test results? And so that to Ryan's point, did it move the metric or not? Well, if we tell you if you're in a test, that can negatively impact the result, because now all of a sudden you're like, oh, somebody's watching me, right? So you're more aware of your behavior. It changes what you do, when we're actually just interested in learning, hey, if we build something in this way, what's the outcome? So that's something that we're going to be continuing to iterate with, of how can we be clearer of how do we design, build, and test the way that we do, engage the community in the right way so you all can understand what that looks like. And then you can be giving us feedback at the right juncture, so we're making it right for your client and yourselves. So just to put a bow on that one.
Just to untie your bow really quickly, I think a key point is we try not to bring things to a test in product until it's been really well beaten up through prototyping and out of product experiences and feedback with customers. But when we get to that point where, hey, we need to do this with live customer data, because we can mock up as many things as we want, but we're going to miss use cases, or not necessarily use cases, but we're going to miss a scenario that's happening more frequently than we think that we need to address. And that's when we really learn, is through a live test.
Great points. Thanks, Ryan. So Kim, you want to give a quick update?
Sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Just mine's quick. Since Johanna wasn't able to join us today, you all may recall that she demoed, as did Syed a couple weeks after our camp days, the new training portal within the ProAdvisor program, or within your ProAdvisor tab. And just the update there is that actually tomorrow, the 16th, is when the team will start rolling out the new training portal for ProAdvisors that will include their training and access to your certification exams, which are now live, by the way, for 2023. And so that is just the update from Johanna. She shared that the number one feedback that you all provided was to enable practice owners and managers the ability to assign training to staff. The ProAdvisor team is currently still talking through that and determining if that can be prioritized this year, or if it's something that needs to be pushed out to our next fiscal year, which starts in August. But the team knows and understands that that was the number one feedback, and they're trying to create a happy path to make that a tangible capability, if not this fiscal year, certainly on the roadmap for fiscal year 2024.
That's a great feature that I think that it makes a lot of sense to want to have a team member who maybe comes on, and no matter what their experience is with QuickBooks, to be able to say, are they somebody who needs to be in that intro level, or are they somebody who maybe needs to be steered towards doing some of the payroll specialist type training. So that makes a lot of sense to make it very specialized into the individual use case.
Absolutely.
That's a great update. And you know, Kim, like while you're here and you're talking, I also have to say congratulations on the sellout of QuickBooks Connect.
Yes, it was all me.
You.
No, it wasn't. It was all you. It was all you. Yes,
Well,
we're very excited.
I think that I contributed to you just because you were the one that I had gotten that news from, and I was like, oh my gosh, really? And so I think that that's a huge shout out to the amount of people who are really wanting to be connected, and they're wanting to get together and stay up to date on all of the new things that are happening, and you know, just the ProAdvisor community in general.
Absolutely.
Kim, how many people are actually registered to come to QuickBooks Connect? Do you have a number?
Sure. In terms of accountant customers, just under 3,000, and then plus the added sponsorships and obviously the Intuit employees that will all be joining us. So very excited. What an amazing community. We didn't think we would sell out as early as we did. And we have hundreds upon hundreds of people on the wait list. So, you know, continuing to work through that as best we can, but excited about QBC. It's coming up soon. It's where 110% of my time is going these days. I will guarantee you that.
I believe it. Yeah, it's going to be here fast. You know, I'm wondering, has QuickBooks Connect ever sold out this fast before?
You know, I honestly don't know the answer to that
That's a
question.
good
And
question.
I'd have to look back
Well,
and do the research.
you know, in the past, I think if everybody's right, just jogging your collective memories, in the past, QuickBooks Connect was this event in San Jose at a big convention center, and it was really focused on having small business customers come out as well as our accountant community. And what we did is we looked at all of the data and we said, you know, the people that are actually engaging most deeply with Connect, it's our accounting professionals, as well as some of our app partners and others. And so we made the decision to change Connect and actually move it to a new venue, right? New wine, new wineskin kind of thinking. And so that's why it's now in Vegas. With that came a constraint, which we didn't think was going to be a binding constraint, which was, hey, it's capped at 3,000. That's all we can have here. And we looked at our old attendance and we're like, okay, with COVID and everything that's going on, hey, do we think we're actually going to get? And we looked at the attendance numbers. We're like, no, we won't sell out, right? And we were blown away that not only did we sell out, we sold out really fast, and that all happened. And now we've got, to Kim's point, it's over. Last I looked at it, was over 400 people on the wait list, and it's just such a bummer to turn people away. Especially these are not right. These are people. It's 950 now. Holy moly! So anyway, so it's great feedback for us of there's such a need to come back to community. So it's a great thing for us as we plan future conferences. Like, spoiler alert, typically we sign multi-year agreements to get venues, so we may be locked in for next year, but it's really good. It's great to see the demand, and I hope to just continue to find ways to serve the needs of everybody. So that's on Connect. And as I can personally attest, Kim is all out on making QuickBooks Connect together with a broader team the best experience for everybody that's going to get to come. I can't wait to share it with everyone, and the desire for just to connect and be together as a community. It's going to be really special, and it should be a lot of fun with a couple of fun surprises as well. I'm going to let that one hang out there. You can ask me follow up. Keith, to your question, no, there's no discount because there's no tickets left. It's sold out. So what I was going to share from my part of what we've been up to since we were together in September, and what a great time it was to be together. We have been so busy. I honestly cannot remember a point in my Intuit career when we have been this busy, moving at breakneck speed for the community. It is awesome to see. Even as recent as yesterday, I was in 3 different conversations with different executives about accountants together with accountants. And so just so you all can hear, your voice is being magnified throughout. Even the leader of our business unit, Alex Chris, was taking notes in some of the meetings and then sharing it back with his team. I was on an email string this morning. It's just how seriously we take the feedback that you get. And you can imagine the amount of energy that folks are having. So a couple of ways to make that really clear for all of you. One of the commitments that I made was you're going to hear from us more frequently. We've made a number of changes since we were at Happy Hour. We've launched a new article series on our Firm of the Future blog called Your Feedback in Action. This is really clever. I think Kim came up with the name, so all credit to Kim. Yep, there she is. Your feedback, here's what we've heard from you, and then in action, what have we done? And then what's coming next? And so literally the name, as it implies, it's not just that we're listening, we're actually taking action on what you're doing. And again, I want to get into a space and a dialogue where you can understand our intention, because as we've been following up and deep diving some of the feedback that we got from all of you at the Happy Hour camp, Ryan summed it up really well. Like, some of these are like death by 1,000 cuts, where teams just didn't realize the implication of some of their decisions. And then other times we've made a actual deliberate trade-off, but we didn't come back to you and say, we heard you and we're going in a different direction. Did you know that something like, Ryan, keep me honest, right? It is insane the amount of people who log into QuickBooks the first time after they buy it, they get freaked out and they leave.
Yeah,
right.
I don't have the exact number, but they come in, expect QuickBooks is going to make life really easy. And they go, oh no, this is not what I want. I'm gonna go back to my spreadsheet and just kind of close my eyes to the problem that I already have.
Exactly. And so we being customer obsessed in a mission of we want to go power prosperity for all of our customers, we don't want any customer to be left behind. And so what we've done is we've said, hey, how could we simplify that on-ramp and not have it feel like you are making, you're climbing up to the top of Everest, but instead a really gentle on-ramp to get people used to what it means to be in a financial management solution like QuickBooks and provide benefit to them earlier with less work. We didn't do a good job of explaining that to you. And for you, when you look at your complex customers, you're like, why on earth would you have this view? That makes my life harder. Not good. We weren't clear of, like, here's the set of folks this was designed for, right? And so I think getting clear on our intention will again help you all understand and interpret what we're doing, not because you're guessing, but because we're engaging you in that conversation. So your feedback in action, first foray to do that. We've also added to the ranks. We brought back a fantastic leader who's been active in the accountant community space named Jessica McCracken. Some of you hopefully know Jessica. And so we're really excited to have her and her energy and her passion for you and bringing that inside and then making a difference, so that we've been actively collaborating with her. We've also been very busy, as Ryan mentioned, really taking everything that we're learning in real time from Happy Hour Camp, from Partner Accountant Council, and then publishing that list and then getting your feedback on it. So we actually did our first trial run of what does it look like if you all help us prioritize what's most important. Now we've got teams, as Ryan said, his team took some cracks at that last week. We've got the entire global engineering team now seeing, here is our accountant curated backlog of things that you could go fix in the 1 week that you've got to go fix them. And so I'm still trying to clarify with the team how many actually got picked up. But it's been amazing to have the engagement on that. So that's some of the other areas that we've been up to of here's what we're doing, then here's how we're communicating it and engaging you all in that. And we welcome feedback of how can we do this better? How can we make sure that everybody knows who needs to know and it's helpful within your workflow? So I will pause there. And then I think, Heather, you wanted to ask a question about QVC, so we can pop back over there.
Actually, I didn't have a question. I had a comment that I was going to share, but yeah, no, this is fantastic. I love the newsletter. I love what you guys are doing. I love the transparency. I love the fact that we're partners, and it's so clear that we're partners in this together, and that feels really good. So thank you. So what I was going to actually say, and I could hardly contain myself, was I'm so excited that Simon Sinek is going to be speaking at QuickBooks Connect. I am a big Simon Sinek fangirl and love his books. And so I'm really, really excited about that.
That's awesome. Yeah, Simon Sinek, Malcolm Gladwell, Serena Williams, right? It's just wow. It's gonna be a feast, a total feast of, I hope, inspiration for everybody.
Absolutely.
And what I'm hearing is to make sure that for 2023 to get tickets early.
Yes,
Yeah.
don't wait.
Don't wait.
I know it's been really sad when we had our we had some, every year we refresh accountant council, so half the class is new. It's 2-year term, right? So every year there's half the classes turning over, and a number of the new folks were like, oh, I didn't get a ticket, and I'm like, sorry, we're sold out. And they're like, oh well, surely you can get me a ticket. I'm like, we have no tickets to give, right? And so it's been very painful to see that wait list, but just so excited.
It's painful, but yet at the same time, you know, it's a good pain because it means that everybody really does want to be engaged, and everybody is really interested in the community, and how do we learn from each other, I think, is the best way to grow.
And while it's a smaller venue, we have more accountants than ever before attending, because as Ted was saying, in the previous years when we had it at the San Jose Convention Center, we had small businesses as part of the audience makeup, in addition to hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of Intuit employees, which was a great thing because so many folks were local. But so we've sort of flipped it on its head and really focused on ensuring that the space that we have is truly taken up by accountants and bookkeepers and our partners. And so from a pure customer attendance perspective, it's actually bigger than what it's been in the past.
Which is very exciting, because I know that whenever I'm attending classes, the thing that, you know, I want to hear is how to better my firm, or to learn more to better my clients. So that's really exciting to hear that the classes are really geared towards that pro advisor.
Kim, quick question. For those that aren't able to attend in person, is there going to be an option of live streaming? Will people be able to catch any of this amazing content virtually?
They'll be able to attend after the fact. So we are not streaming the event this year. It is 100% in person. However, shortly after the event, we will be providing content for CPE available through CPA Academy. And then we also will be posting some content on our QuickBooks Connect website, quickbooksconnect.com, shortly after the event. So that is how we're meeting the need from that perspective this year.
Nice. And I'll go ahead and share. So as far as QuickBooks Connect, there's a couple of things that Heather and I are doing in combination. And one of those are Heather and I are teaching some sessions. So Heather, you and I are teaching on the same day at the same time. I know, I'm actually really excited about that too. So Heather, you're teaching a no code development session, and that's going to be on Wednesday at 1. And then I'm teaching on the other end of the spectrum completely, how to get started with QuickBooks Online Payroll. So what are some of the things that you need to know in order to be a payroll specialist, how to use the QuickBooks Online product, including some tips about QuickBooks Time, and then also the certification that's coming up. So on the bottom, I posted the URL so that way you know the sessions are already posted, so you can start to dive into what classes do you want to take. The other thing that's super exciting is for those who are attending, we are going to have a Appy Camp meetup. So at QuickBooks Connect, we are going to have those who attended Appy Camp be able to come together. And I would even say to those who didn't attend Appy Camp but are interested in what did we do there? What are we talking about? Really, it's a chance to be able to network and to form another way to share and collaborate. So I welcome anyone to join our Appy Camp meetup at QuickBooks Connect.
You know, there was one session. Oh, sorry. There was one session.
Sorry, Heather, I didn't mean to jump in. The slide says 11:30 p.m.
Oh,
I just want to confirm that y'all were throwing some amazing after hours party. It is Vegas, so
It is Vegas after all, right?
Right, that's right.
It's AM. So thanks for the clarification there, Ted. Yep. Go ahead, Heather. What were you going to say?
What I was going to say is that the one session that we didn't put on our list that we're actually doing together is the panel. So we're doing a panel on accountants and developers, a perfect pairing. So we're bringing together some amazing accountants and also some developers onto a panel to talk about what makes a great partnership. I'm really excited about this conversation because that's where the magic happens, is when we're communicating in a really synergistic way. So Liz will be on, I'll be moderating the panel. Liz will be on the panel along with Don Brolin. And then we have Ben Stein from Keeper on that panel and Jason from Bookkeep on that panel. So it's going to be pretty amazing. I was trying to find what day it was and I got a date out, but it's happening. It'll be really fun.
So while you're digging that out, I want to say thank you to all of our Intuit panel who has joined us and asking questions in chat. That is wonderful because that helps us to better know what kind of areas that you're interested. So thank you for sharing those comments that were inside of chat and then answering those. I'll go ahead and I will launch the poll just to give everybody here an opportunity that if you would like to have some more information, if you would like to learn more about some of the Intuit opportunities in general, like what are some of the learning areas or training that's coming up, or even product specific. If you want to answer the poll and say yes, that you'd like to be reached out to, then we'll pass along your name, and that way you can have some additional information to help you. But thank you, Intuit team, for being here today. It was really, it's informative to hear what you're doing, and it's heartwarming, and because so many of us dedicate a lot of what we do to working inside of QuickBooks, to hear how much time is really going into listening to our feedback and to our concerns. So thank you.
Yeah. And I guess the last thing is Liz and I are busy planning Appy Camp 2023. So we're hoping that we'll see our friends from Intuit there and many of you.
Thanks so much for having us. It's awesome to be with you. And now I'm dodging the sunbeam. So good to be together.
Well, thanks again for everybody joining us, and we will be seeing many of you very, very soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.